Alright, so welcome all. On behalf of the company, I just want to say thank you very, very much for all you guys being here this evening with us. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy the moment and take honor to it. With that being said, I just want to take the moment and just kind of let everybody know that I'm thrilled and excited to be a part of this moment. It's been a long time since I've been part of something like this, and I'm extremely excited about it. So hopefully we have a good evening and we live it up and just, take this moment in. Positive? Positive. That's what's up. All right, cool. So, you could have been anywhere in the world this evening, but obviously you're here with us. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, tonight, we celebrate our company's rising star, our leadership team, our corporate partners, and our company. We've been anticipating this evening for months now, and the fact that we're finally here, we just want to say welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the 2018 Banquet Rising Star. It's possible, and I just want to make sure that everybody give it up and enjoy the moment. So let's give a round of applause for that. All right. So tonight's banquet wouldn't be possible without our first company's rising star, Mr. DeAntoine Nelson himself. All right. Since November 2003. In his hometown, Detroit, Michigan, DeAntoine Nelson entered direct marketing and quickly found out that he was better with people than working with things. So, working himself from an agent to an owner in less than 3.5 years, and MIC Marketing Inc. was born, and the rest was history. As a company, we value and we appreciate and we learn from DeAntoine as we grow together. And 10 years from now, we'll still be on TOP. So, without any further delay, please help me welcome our Chief Executive Officer of MIC Marketing Inc., DeAntoine Nelson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good night. Get out of here. All right, let's fix this a little bit. Okay. So first of all, let's please give Randy a round of applause for welcoming us to our annual 2018 event. Great job. Excellent. The energy we feel obviously exudes throughout the room, so we really appreciate each and every one of you all for helping us do so. Your appreciation is something that we value, and hopefully with tonight's event we can display it in words and in deeds. Personally, I'm honored and I'm humbled to not only be in you guys' presence, but to also have the opportunity to enjoy tonight's evening. Just to give you guys a recap of what the evening looks like and kind of how we're going to get everything underway. First and foremost, we're going to celebrate our rising stars. So that's individuals in this room who have personally contributed to actually helping make the company what it is. We're also going to represent our leadership team, our corporate staff, and then most importantly, Make It Count Marketing. Tonight, we celebrate 10 years in business as an independent company, not just surviving, but thriving. There's a big difference between the two. Most businesses fail within its first year. Fortunately, 10 years from now, Randy said it, we'll still be on TOP. We'll still be growing, we'll still be thriving, but it's because of the individuals in the room. So we thank you, we really appreciate all of you all. And most importantly, we want to thank our families and our loved ones, because coincidentally, most of us can't have the success that we desire without the people closest to us. They're the ones who never see us in the morning and usually never see us at night. But they began to realize that what we're doing has a more significant purpose. And so if possibly by means of tonight, we can help them get a better picture of what we mean when we say it's possible, well then I think the banquet would have had success. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome to our annual 2018 It's Possible Rising Star Banquet. So to set the tone for kind of what we're going to do, we're going to have dinner served. We're going to have our liaison, Shannon. She's going to first have the 2 reserved tables. They're going to go up and they're going to be able to serve themselves. This is also the opportunity, if Brandy caught you just before your bartender can get you a drink, have at it. You can go back and get you a drink while those tables get dinner, and then we'll get a chance to socialize, reconvene, and then we'll start tonight's banquet. Sounds good? Positive. Okay. So let's start with our first 2 reserved tables. If you all don't mind, if you can go up. Oh, well, give her just 1 second while she finishes just a little bit. We'll kind of change it just slightly. I was going to have us kind of listen to something to put us in the right frame of mind about this evening's banquet. So what we'll do is we'll actually start to listen in to this highly anticipated speech. Not sure if anybody, by show of hands, have ever heard of a gentleman called Les Brown. You ever heard of Les Brown? Okay. Les Brown is one of the world-renowned motivational speakers in all of the world, not the United States, but around the world. He wrote a speech called It's Possible. So tonight, as we listen into this speech, we'll also be able to have dinner. But I think this will really kind of help paint a picture as far as, even as a company, why we chose the theme, It's Possible. So as they finish getting set up, I'll get that underway for us, and we'll listen to Les Brown tell us why it's possible. First ever trained, Norma Smith. Norma was 61 years young at the time I trained her in this business. But she was a firecracker. I mean, Norma was 23 years in spirit and just absolutely engulfed the business. She loved the concept. She loved the fact that she was in control of her own time and income. And she made my job a whole lot easier. So from Norma, I kind of started to go in the right direction. And then I started making $500 and $600 a week. So I was kind of proud to tell my family, hey, you guys don't got to keep doing this now. I think I can get it, right? And if they kind of sort of had told me, well, look, you need to hurry up and get it, my attitude back then was, I'll move out, I'll give me a studio apartment or something like that. Don't threaten me. I'll figure it out. At that point, because I didn't realize clearly that I still needed them. So they asked me, okay, what's your plan A? My plan A was to succeed at marketing. They knew that already. So they said, well, what's your plan B? I said, to succeed at marketing. See, my plan B is my plan A. That was my difference maker. I had decided that it wasn't that I wasn't where I wanted to be. I did believe it was possible. I did believe if I just kept going, I probably can get what so many other people around me had already had. I watched people make tens of thousands of dollars from the work of my hands. The problem was I had never seen more than $1,000 myself, while they saw tens of thousands. So I said, you know what, if they can do it, so can I. And the gentleman who trained me, he's not here in attendance today. Actually, he's not even in the business anymore. But this gentleman, I value his training that day probably more than any other professional experience. But here is why. He was such a bobo. He was not a sharp guy. I don't mean that disrespect. He just wasn't a sharp guy. But he made $300 that afternoon while he took me in the field. Now I'm saying to myself, if he can make $300, I can probably make $3,000. Because this guy is not even close to as sharp as I thought I was, right? But it was because of the fact he kept everything simple. He not only made it repetitive for me to learn it as he did it, he stuck by me until I had the privilege of training Norma. And I never forget what he did. I wish I could find him. I'd love to put him a part of making marketing. But he's not in the business. But it did teach me that if the advice given to me when I first started, which was work hard this winter, so you never have to work another winter in your life. I believe that. I started November 7th in Detroit. That's also the year of the Nor'easter. If you guys are from the Midwest, you know how terrible the Nor'easter was. I started in that year in the winter in Detroit. But none of that bothered me because the guy who took me out and taught me the business made $300 his first day. And then we went out the next day and he made $300 his next day. And then when I got my agent ID and was able to actually sell under SBC, you guys know what SBC is? That's who AT&T is now. That's my first direct sales campaign, SVC. I sold 4 local and 4 long distance services at $20 a sale. I was on cloud 9. I was excited because I just did what he did. I said things that he said. I carried out things in the same manner he did. And the beautiful thing about it was I got to see the work of my hands through Norma. And indirectly, I kind of get to see the work of my hands through all of you all. You do the work. So by no means am I saying that what you've done or do I have any right to take credit for. But it sure feels good to be a part of it. So again, I say I appreciate, I thank you all very much. And I really, really hope tonight, as we recognize our rising stars, you all will see that where we started, where we are, and where we're going is just the beginning. Now, first, I just want to tell everybody, you all look amazing this evening. Get yourselves around, but you all look amazing. Absolutely amazing. I really do appreciate you all investing in yourself, taking the time out, and making yourself feel good about you, and of course, being a part of tonight's event. It really means a lot to me. One of my good friends, as soon as he saw me at the door, he said, "DA, you look sharp." I said, "I appreciate it. I do. I feel like I got $3.
Oh, wow.
Why don't you let me get 2 more so I can say, I got 5. I felt good. You know, I mean, it was nice that he recognized that I put time in it, but I recognize and say to you all, I really appreciate what you did. It means a lot to me. So again, tonight, please, let's eat, let's drink, let's socialize, let's share goals about where we are and where we want to be at. So without any further ado, we're gonna bring the salads out first, and you get more drinks, more appetizers. But again, we'll start with our first 2 reserved tables. And again, thank you all very much for joining us, okay? Thank you.
All right.
But a rising star to the company is somebody who adds value. So it's one asset that we protect in this business more than any other asset. Anybody know what that asset is? One asset we protect more than anything else to us in this business. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an A. Excitement. Attitude. Absolutely. Your attitude is important, right? You don't know what you're going to encounter when you physically wake up that morning, because you can't tell the future. But what you do know is that you can dictate how you react to it, right? So they say it's not what happens in life, but it's how you react to it. So by theory, if an individual protects his or her attitude, they're basically saying, it doesn't really matter what takes place. I am assuring myself I'm going to react, not respond, right? A response to something is like, hypothetically speaking, Randy slaps you. My response probably is to slap Randy back. That's my response, right? Because in theory, I'm just, hindsight, right? But if I take the time to think about, did I offend Randy? Or maybe is it a scenario where I'm missing something that he knows, right? And I think about it, and I concentrate on it, and then I react according to knowledge. I probably can answer that question before I even got to go up to Randy now, right? Same thing when it comes to our day-to-day operation of business. We can't see the end at the beginning, but what we can see is how we're going to react, right? So a rising star is similar. He or she has basically said to themselves, I'm going to choose to act or react a certain way based on whatever's thrown at me, right? So tonight, even if an individual isn't called to the podium or there's not a special award given, I don't want anyone to miss the purpose of, if you're here, if you're in this banquet hall tonight, you are one of our rising stars. Again, not just the actual partners and agents and team members, but again, also our family and our loved ones. because they are a big part of why we do what we do. So, all right, enough with the talking, right? You say, all right, yeah, you know. So let's just get started with our rising star. So the way that we get a little excited and kind of make sure that everybody feels the same kind of way is we like to make sure everybody's in tune, right? Everybody is in unison. So when I say, hey guys, I need you all to say, hey what, okay? All right, so I'm gonna say, hey guys!
Hey what?
Hey guys!
Hey what?
And the first guy, yeah!
And the first guy is.
And the first guy, yeah!
And the first guy is.
Wait, it's not a guy.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
Randy got ahead of him. He was excited. He was excited, but I like it. I like it. I like it. No, actually, our first recipient is a guy. It is a guy. Now, here's a quick backstory about this gentleman. Maybe 5 weeks in the business now, so not a very long tenure. Proven a point of a rising star is not someone who's been here 5 years, but just 5 or so weeks. And this individual, which some in the room have maybe heard a similar story or maybe even know kind of where we're going with this, but this individual definitely didn't consider himself to be committed necessarily to the business or even know if this was for him. But he had a conversation with his manager. We had a conversation together. We just tried to figure out, what was broken and how do we need to go about fixing it. Again, that individual made his own decision. I'm gonna give it one last try. It probably was one last try because his mind was made over that evening that if for some reason I don't go make some money again today, I'm out. It's probably not for me. But he not only came to work, made money that day, he hasn't stopped making money since then. Proudly, we just cut him a $967 check for 5 days of work. I'm excited about his $967. And the irony is, I don't even think this gentleman has scratched the surface. I think he's just getting warmed up. I think he's just figuring out, actually, this is what I do. I know how to do this. So without any further ado, please, if you all can help me welcome Mr. Darius Pippin. I want to make sure I got the right word there. Okay. So here's the thing. Darius writes a lot of orders. So we figured the best way for him to do this is with his own pen that says, I get more money than all these. Really appreciate it. And the next guy, yeah! 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 All right, we're calling this recognition occasion recognition. And I say rising to the occasion because this individual, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks in the business, maybe 5 now, I don't know, something. 4 or 5 weeks in the business, okay? Very new, but not new to the business as far as like direct sales and door-to-door and marketing, but new to our company. But he met another gentleman in our business in the company, and he was already successful at what he was doing. The irony is we just felt he probably should earn a little bit more and maybe even have a larger opportunity because, we saw that, hey, if you're doing what you're doing now and it already is working, boy, what you can do if you just have some people maybe in your corner that wanted your success more than even our own. And he said, look, this is about how much business I generate. I do this because it not only provides to my family and loved ones, but at the end of the day, I'm good at it. I really love the confidence because his confidence made me more confident. And in theory, it goes without saying that this individual every single day has not only did what he said he was going to do, but even at times exceeded expectations. In order to get ahead, this individual had to work on Saturday and Sunday just to make certain that He not only met the qualification to move ahead in our business, but to assure that he did it in the time frame that he was most comfortable. So please help me welcome to the stage the rise into the occasion recognition to Mr. Mark Thomas. As his counterpart areas, which they are officially part of the TO market, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. Mark writes business. Mark, he just paid a little over $1,100 in commission for 5 days of work. And again, this gentleman again is just really beginning to get comfortable, even with us. Again, this is a new relationship. This is all new. But we value where he is, and we look forward to where he's going. So, thank you, sir.
All right.
And the next guy, yeah!
And the next guy is?
The next guy, yeah! Wait, it's not a guy. Oh, wow. All right, let's keep this thing PG, please. Okay, but this is a young lady. And we get excited about when the young ladies in our business progress. Why? In the world of business, it's usually dominated by men. I didn't make that up, it just is what it is, right? That's what the society we've come to know, right? But this individual, again, stepped out on faith, probably, dared to be a little different. I know she didn't know that this was door to door when she signed up to do it. But she did it. And doing it has afforded her the opportunity tonight to not only be invited to this evening's event, but to actually be a rising star. Someone that, as of tonight, officially progresses from agent to trainer, which in our business, that's a big deal because it now gives that individual the green light, the thumbs up from us, to start growing their business with our support. So whether she brings the people, we give her people, or a combination of both, we're going to get behind whatever she wants, however she wants it. So that's what makes it unique, is that she is being extended the opportunity. We can't make her accept it. But if she does, we're going to extend her the opportunity to get into the first level of leadership. And by doing so, we figure what better way to be recognized tonight at our venue. But instead of me telling maybe her story and maybe even giving a better idea of exactly how this whole thing came together, I'm going to call up her manager, Mr. Anthony Colley, to present.
How everybody doing tonight? Man, it's been a long time coming. I remember when I actually met the young lady that DA is actually speaking about. Fire in her eyes. So I said I can extend your opportunity, help you make some money. You just got to do exactly what I tell you and just, follow the leader and just do exactly what you're supposed to do, and it's going to, come out positive. So she ended up doing that, and every day she's been behind me. I've been going this way, she's been going the same way. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring up Kiera Mitchell.
Kiera got the memo about the colors in the joint. You see that? She was all ready to go. Yeah. Great job, Kiera. We're very, very proud of you. So Kiera holds in her hand, just so you guys understand, that's our leader's manual. So that manual takes her from trainership to ownership. Oh, wow. So it tells her everything she needs to do from here to ownership. Whatever she needs to accomplish is right there in that manual. The beautiful thing about it is we're not just going to give it to her tonight and hope she reads it at some point in the future. Anthony, the rest of the leadership team, we're going to work with her. We're going to go over different points to make sure she gets the most out of it. That's the only way that it matters, okay? But Kiera also writes business. like really good business, and she's progressed. You know, she didn't start off making tons of money out the gate, but successfully working along with Kylie and the rest of her team, she's been able to build herself up to a point where she can see I'm going in the right direction. We were proud to give her her largest check thus far just this past week. But again, that's only the beginning. We're just getting started with it. So in recognition of her as well, we want to give her her own pen, or her own pen says, I'm better than all of you.
Yeah, Juice.
Proud of you, baby.
Let's get it. Wow. Hey.
And I asked for no anchors out tonight, but
You know you was going to do that.
no, he looks fantastic. I'm very proud of him. Keep up the good work. Now, the Jackson boys don't come singular. That's the beautiful thing about this relationship, is that Jeremiah started in the business before his brother. His brother didn't do well at all when he first started the business. But he'll tell you that. But I think my last visit to see the team in Cleveland, he said to me, DA, it's crazy, man. I've started to do so well. My lady asked me, who we hiring? That's how well he had started to progress, to where it wasn't so much of like, I believe in it and maybe it will. It started to show, right? And he went from barely making a couple $100s. So I don't think we paid him less than $500 to $600 every 6 days for the last 8 or 12 weeks.
Where my money?
Right. But it brings me joy to recognize, again, this individual who, without a doubt, it's fitting to call him a rising star. And he started to grow his team. He started to make certain that he took assertive effort so that he can get the most out of his opportunity. And him, as well as the rest of their team, they've been doing a great job of what we like to call following lead. So again, without any further ado, let's give it up for the other Jackson, Aaron Jackson. Aaron told Randy, he's like, don't step on my balloons. He's like, you got to step back a little bit. You have to watch them. Good job, Aaron, man. We're very proud of you. Very proud of you. Absolutely. We're recognizing this individual as the you were worth it recognition. So when I say you were worth it, this has to go back to 2008 or 2009, somewhere around that time frame. We had a situation with a company we were formerly attached to as an entire organization, and something happened. I don't really even remember what the something was. I know it had to do with like some customer said this kid told them something that probably didn't happen, right? But the problem is that we know that wasn't the case. I mean, the customer maybe had buyer's remorse, or maybe even just, I don't know, decided that they didn't want what it was that this gentleman gave them initially. Well, they made a formal complaint. And the formal complaint got all the way up to the top of the chief executive officer of the company we were attached to. And that individual, instead of backing and supporting a huge channel, which is what we were to them, right? And saying, you know what, let's look further into it, and let's get a backstory. Maybe let's just figure out a way to make it go away, period, right? I mean, to me, value in people sometimes means you do what it takes to try and help make sure that they don't have to fight battles. It's your job to do so. We didn't get that support. But as an entire organization, what we said is, you get rid of that guy, you get rid of all of us. To him, he was worth us all pulling our business from this one very successful campaign, one very successful company, and saying, we'll just go do business elsewhere. See, we don't get married to, or we don't get overly committed to a client or you know, the shirts that we wear or the binders we carry. We only get attached to the wire transfers, the money that comes in. Because that's at the end of the day how they view us. Just, you know, we perform transactions, they give us the money, bottom line. But we saw, even with this other marketing company, that they didn't highly value this person as much as we did. So we took our small organization, which was way smaller than it is now, and we aligned it with another organization. But for me, and I know this individual will agree, it was solely because we thought he was worth it. Fast forward 6 years or so now, he's still here. So that proves to me he was well worth that move, that risk, to actually get to the point where we were able to say, you were worth it. So without any further ado, we are calling this the You Were Worth It recognition. Please, Mr. Tobias McLean, can you come to the stage with us?
I see you. I see you.
Good job tonight. And thank you for everything. We really appreciate that.
You still ain't
Our
shit,
next
man.
recognition, we are calling this our On the Way Up recognition. Now, I'm not talking about the Fat Joe song. That's all the way. This individual's company is called On the Way Up. I like it. I like that company because it basically has a story behind it, right? And this individual, although it's been in the business, experienced quite a bit, has, I think, turned a corner. They made a decision, you know what, I'm gonna be everything that I basically have the possibilities and the opportunity to do so. And it means a lot to me that this individual has gotten very focused and very committed to his business to actually say, I not only have a name, but I know exactly who I want a part of my business. He started recruiting, he started to grow, and by extension, On the Way Up has officially become a team on its way into a brand new business. So I'm excited to be excited and recognize Mr. Martell Taylor. His business, okay, because that's not what we do up here. But Martell made $1,100 in 5 days of work this week. But that's kind of normal for Martell. Martell does well for himself and has done that for years. For years, he's consistently made pretty substantial. I'm excited about that because he only can go up from here. He can only keep getting better. So great job, Martell. Keep up the excellent work. Our next recognition goes to a really special individual. I view him as a close friend, somebody who I've had the privilege of knowing for at least 8, maybe 9 years now. We've seen our share of ups and downs, that's for sure. Personally, professionally, but we saw it together. This individual knew me before I was me, in a sense, or before any of this, and was willing to get behind it, was very, very supportive. And when his time of needs came about, the best thing I could tell him, which I always like to say, the 3 best words that someone close to you can ask you is, I need you, and the only 3 words that matter is, I got you. That's it. Everything else is irrelevant. This individual at one point said, I need you, and I said, I got you. And by extension, it brings my heart joy to know that this individual has endless possibilities for success, not only personally, but professionally. I can go on and on expressing my gratitude for this individual, but I do just want to say that it means a lot for me to recognize him this evening. So please, if we can have Mr. Chief Hernan come to the stage for us.
Drink down.
A young lady who we're calling her recognition, not by chance but by choice. This individual had already been a successful business owner for many years in a few different industries. So, not necessarily dealing in direct sales and connection. She had already seen him as a success. She'd already experienced certain things. But I think when she got into the business and she got even with our team in the business, it kind of helped her to see that she could go far, she could do quite a lot, she could do quite a bit, and more importantly, that the decision she made to team and partner up with the right group of people, it made sense. To me, I don't even know if I can probably say half of the success that I've had in the last 5 years hasn't been directly tied to this individual. When there was perhaps no one else to game plan with or to bounce ideas across, or that I even felt like cared enough to actually figure out what we needed to do to get where we wanted to go, this individual was there. And that meant a lot to me professionally, because I know that it takes a team of people to be successful, not an individual. So again, it brings me a lot of joy to recognize this individual as a rising star and an absolute pillar to the company. Please help me welcome Ms. Cherie Moon to the stage.
Randy is a professional reader now. Graduated.
So those are rising stars, and you can somewhat at this point identify who's helping, again, really make the company what it is in a tangible way. Again, don't forget that every single person in attendance is a rising star. We value, we appreciate you. But this kind of sheds some light, it highlights some key people that we believe deserve special recognition this evening. So now we're going to move into our leadership, our partner part of the actual Rising Star Banquet. So the first recognition that we're going to award, we call this partnership with a purpose. So when I think about the word, partner or partnership, I think about somebody who's prepared to take my losses with me just as much as my gains. Because everybody is okay when, in theory, everything is going well, right? But what if it's not going so well? What if things are not quite as they were expected? Is those same people going to be there tomorrow that perhaps wasn't there yesterday? Well, I always like to say, I'm confident if I look to my left or to my right, there's going to always be people there. I just don't know which faces are going to be on the body. Because in theory, those can change all the time. But what I hope for is that when I look to my left and when I look to my right, I'm pretty confident to say this individual is going to be one of those people, regardless of on which right or left he stands, he's going to be there. Because I hope to earn his partnership with a purpose. So I want to recognize this evening a dear friend, a partner, Mr. Reginald Crenshaw. Reginald, please come to the bench.
Want it. That's what's up.
So now we move into a category I like to call loyalty. Loyalty is one of those characteristics. You can't bribe a person to be loyal. It doesn't really work. And if it does, it's usually temporary. It's a quality that few find, but it's like pearls, right? It's value. It's something that means a lot to the person giving it, but even more important, the person or people receiving it. This individual, 12 years ago, came from New York City to little old Cleveland, Ohio, and he made an impact so big to where his first team was called the Rising Stars. And his motto was, "We don't stop, we keep spinning." That was his motto. And to this day, he still has grown exponentially to a point where his business, just his business, generated him $1,800 in 5 days of work. Just this one. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. But the beauty is that this individual has also had his own company for 6 or so years now, Top Star Marketing Group. And the best thank you I can possibly give this individual is to let him know I'm always going to be here, personally and professionally, to help assist in any way possible so that that individual can keep reaching his full potential. So again, we call this the loyalty recognition, and I appreciate tremendously his loyalty, his friendship, his love. Please bring to the stage Mr. David Ruiz.
Yeah! Hurry up, let me see. Record you can stay. Thank you, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all
So
for
now
coming.
we talk about in Cleveland was the second person that I ever had the privilege of taking in the field myself and actually introducing to the business. So I tell his story because to me it's hilarious, but it also tells a very valuable lesson in what we like to call stickativity.
Good. That's the baby brother.
Qualities that is possessed in being a good person, but also being a great student in business, and even being an even better leader. And this individual, Percy, came from New York City to Detroit, Michigan to retrain at that time myself and 4 or 5 of the team members that had made a transition from one company to the next to help us learn the culture and the way in which this new company did things. And she was coined with the phrase mother love. And we call her mother love because everything she did sincerely was from the heart. It didn't matter if it was her time. It didn't matter if it was her resources. Whatever she did it out of love. She did it with pure appreciation for the people she did it for and the purpose in which she did it. I don't even know if I can say thank you enough, but it means the world to me personally to have her a part of the company, to lead different divisions in the company, and to actually have the value of saying that this individual makes me professionally a better person every single day. I appreciate her. It brings me joy to have her a part of the team and to learn from her and work alongside her. So I like to call this the you gave, now you get recognition. We're going to bring up to the stage Ms. Pieta again.
Thank you so much, TA, for giving me the opportunity. But before anything, I want to thank you and congratulate everyone who came out today. You were chosen to come out for a reason, and all of your accomplishments, to me, this world doesn't give enough recognition to those that do so much good, or they're judged, or so many different things. But, when I started this business back in 2003, if you would have met me 15 years ago, my face would be the color of a tomato. I couldn't talk, and I was so shy, that big, knot in my throat, the whole 9. Now, you can put me in front of Yankee Stadium, and I just love just being able to change lives. But, my first out-of-state experience was actually in Detroit, and then from there, that's where I met D'Antoine, and then from there, Cleveland, and I've traveled the country. And to me, every time someone told me, no, you can't do it, or my own family, everybody used to call me Gypsy, what street corner you working, what are you doing, like you name it, I got told it. I've worked almost 80% of the major cities in this country. Just no fear, because no one couldn't tell me that I couldn't do something because I was a female or whatever it was. It's all a bunch of BS. So this company and this business just showed me that if you really want something, you can go out and do it. And you get to meet such amazing people, a great relationship with D'Antoine, and it is my honor to be part of MIC, and I apologize to my daughter.
Oh no, she okay. That's all right.
Thanks. But I'm excited about what's happening with the company and the growth and the new clients that we're bringing, and we need more leaders to go ahead and open up these new markets and these new, who's the next person that's like, hands up, I got a 5-man team, take me there, or what's the next campaign, or where's the first, $3,000 check, $5,000 check, $10,000 check. It's all possible, and there's not one person in here that can't get that done. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I'm excited about the growth and every single one of you guys, and just thank you for letting me speak and be part of the team. Thank you.
So we heard this gentleman. Oh, so sorry. Thank you. Sorry. So we heard this individual come up to the stage and give recognition, of course, to a business partner of his and someone he holds near and dear to his heart, that he's personally been able to help influence and inspire to do better things or to reach their full potential. But this individual is also, to me, very special because we share a goal in life that actually has nothing to do with business. It's all personal. We pride ourselves on having, a characteristic about ourselves that says what we believe is who we are. It's not, for example, just what we do like as employment, but who we are and what we believe is in fact who we are. So it's the same way all the time. That the best way
next 2 minutes will be
recognize
start. Everybody go ahead and get your last drink, so please take a seat. 2 minutes.
He would personally know, maybe many of you as well. We're going to call this recognition Proverbs 17:17. And this recognition says, a true friend is a friend from all time, and is a brother born out of distress. So what that means to me is that this individual personally has shown me, led me, inspired me, and helped correct me when necessary so that I can be the best me. This individual has had a business 12 years before Make Account Marketing was probably even thought of. So success and tenure and all of that other cool jazz, it was already there. But his humility is what meant the most to me, because he told me in personal conversation, you got something going on, and you know what? I'm okay to ride with, alongside that brand. It makes sense. I have no problem with that. And again, this individual has done more, has experienced more, has been more successful, but his humility has allowed him to say, you know what? I think there's something good here. Let's go with it. Let's put two companies together and make it one bigger. Let's make it even more productive, and let's make it more profitable. That meant the world to me. And it also meant a lot because I was able to do it with somebody that I appreciate and I care for, not just professionally, but also personally as well. So we heard this individual speak. We're calling this our Proverbs 17:17 recognition. If we could please invite Mr. Marcus.
Come on, man. I know what my company do. You know what you think?
Dominican.
Going back from that.
I just want to say something real quick. Thank you again, and thank you for the family. This means a lot to me. I mentioned that Psyche coming in homeless, that was one thing. Her staying homeless, she did. This award here was from Maryland, where she sold more deals than anybody in the state of Maryland. She beat everybody.
All right.
So that shows that it can happen. definitely excited to be a part of something special here, and we're looking to grow on this. It's possible.
Thank you very much, Marcus. It means a lot to us to have the opportunity of having you in Fair Trade Marketing and part of the company and everything. We appreciate everything that you do. Thank you. So now, it excites me. I mean, I am bubbling forth. Can't you tell? I am excited for this next recognition. It's not an easy thing to run a business. Not at all. Actually, 9 out of 10 businesses fail in its first year. And that's the reason most people won't even take the risk of actually becoming an entrepreneur, because the odds are against them. Now, this individual that we're referring to that was not only willing to take the risk, committed himself to actually putting in the work, hasn't always been in the business, let's call it from hello to goodbye. This individual started in the business at 19. But from, let's call it early 20s to late 20s, this individual was out of the business. But in 6 months, being back in the business, this individual has accomplished more in 6 months than what some people haven't accomplished in 6 years. His business generates over $100,000 to date. To date. So 6 months, his business has generated over $100,000. It's not an easy feat. And this individual has a commitment level that surpasses anything I've personally seen thus far. But what excites me is what story he's going to tell going forward. He chose to name his business UTO Marketing, understanding the opportunity. And I get it. I get why the name fits. I get the story behind it. And it brings me great joy to have had any share in any of the success that he's worked for, and his team has supported him undyingly in so many different ways. But I promise, it's just getting started. I mean, the young man has a determination that will shock you. And it brings me great joy to welcome him into ownership and to be able, from our company to his company, to make sure he does it the right way. So please, we're gonna call this recognition the You Understood the Opportunity recognition. And we're gonna bring up to the stage Mr. Randy Miller.
You could do your motherfucking thing, dude.
What's up, guys?
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. Say it again. First and foremost, I just want to give thanks to my partner, Antoine Nelson. I really do. You know, he's not a partner, he's more of a friend, like a brother. You know, for those who don't really know my backstory, or those who do that I've built with, you can kind of feel the emotion, you know, that I'm kind of feeling now. That's why I'm like, you know, teary-eyed. But it's all good. We all human, so you know, at the end of the day, everybody make mistakes. But not too long ago, I can remember 2017. For those who don't know, I came home from being incarcerated, but I just never lost that hunger, that desire. Like, I knew what I wanted. Like, from day in, day out, I knew that no matter what, when my time came, I was gonna make it happen. But when that time came, it was destined for me to get in contact for those who I remember that once exposed the opportunity to me. And the fact that I didn't remember, that I didn't lose sight of that, I had to do whatever it takes to make certain that I track these individuals down, so therefore I can see what can be presented for them. And with that being said, you know, and Ye can, you know, he can remember that I gave him a call. I'm like, yo, D, what's up, man? I'm home, man. He had the same number. Like, all these years later, he had the same. So I worked my Lord Baptist. I'm like, yo, let me call this number real quick. Let me see if he gonna pick up. Who do you know? What's up, bro? What's going on? Yo, D, what's going on, man? I'm home, man. He's like, yeah, man. So, long story short, you know, me and D, we stayed in contact. My partner Dave, we also stayed in contact, and you know, they just knew that I was hungry, but I couldn't really make any moves at the time because I had to take care of little situations as far as, you know, working a few 9-to-5 jobs, you know, keep my head above water. But at the back of my mind, I knew what it was, what I wanted to accomplish because what I had the hunger for. So, bypass all that, you know, I finally got back on my feet, and you know, from there I just took off running, and I just told myself, no matter what it takes, man, I'm gonna continue pushing myself to be hungry, because 7 years of my life was taken, you know, based on my wrong decisions, was taken away from what I was exposed to. But I knew as soon as I got the chance, I was gonna come back and go even 10 times harder, and that's what I did. And the thing is this. The thing is this, is that,
I'm so proud of you.
You know, the key is that I told myself that goals is what I have to make sure that I put intact, because a man can say, what do you want to accomplish, such as a woman, but if you don't have a goal nor of a plan, then at the end of the day, you're not really striving, you're not striving yourself towards anything. And at the end of the day, a man without a plan is a man who plans to fail, and that's something that stuck with me for all these years. A man without a plan is a man who plans to fail. So I knew from that day moment moving forward, I had to have a plan. I had to have everything structured step by step and know what I was going to do. So, with that being said, that's what happened. So, outside of that, I just want to, you know, let everybody know that I appreciate the warm love and, you know, the fact that you all are here enjoying this moment. I also want to give a special shout out to my fiance Natasha Priscilla, because it was tough, because my first road trip to Jersey, she didn't understand me, so, but I understood it. So at the end of the day,
come on, baby, calm down.
I had to do what I had to do and let her know, like, listen, you had to do what I had to do to make sure that I accomplished my goals. So that's why I just stayed hungry. So at the end of the day, she didn't understand it. So I told her, like, listen, baby, let me do what I gotta do. Let me put in the work, and it's gonna all play out. It's gonna all show up. So it was complicated at the end. So I want to give a special shout out to my fiance Natasha Priscilla for being here. I also want to give a shout out to my lovely Auntie Nisi. I love you, Auntie, man. I really do.
And I'm glad to be here with you,
This means the world to me to be here and recognize this and just taking a moment. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to my team.
Yes.
They know who they is, and I think that I love you guys. You guys push it. You guys push it. And you know, day in and day out, from the good days to the bad days, we stay building with each other. We stay, you know, making certain that we was on top of each other. Because I used to tell my team, listen, man, if I'm not on top of your back, it's because I don't care about you. I want to see you guys grow. I want to see you guys progress. And they understood that. So, you know, like I said, I want to give a special shout out to my team. I love you guys. You guys know what it is. You know, at the end of the day, we going all the way to the top. Because like Prince Montana said, all the way up. You gotta realize it, because at the end of the day, when we setting goals and we putting our mind towards something, that's the key to it. We going all the way up, because there's no limit. I know everybody say the skies are the limit, but at the end of the day, in my eyes and my team, know anybody that builds me, there's no limit. The limit is whatever we put our mind to, whatever we get to. So that's what it is. Once again, I want to give a special shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to push. And continue to understand why we do what we do, because that's a part of understanding the opportunity. UTO Marketing Inc. You guys understand the opportunity, and I love you guys. Let's continue to push. Everybody else, such as DA, Reg, Kali, Dave, everybody else that worked alongside of me. You guys know how I am. You guys know how passionate, how driven I am. And I want to give a special shout out to you guys and say thank you for having my back, being there. For those who reached out and helped my team, that showed mad love, because at the end of the day, we're all a team. However you look at it, we're all a team. We always pushing and helping each other. Yeah. And I commend you guys wholeheartedly for that. And at the end of the day,
oh baby,
at the end of the day, the goal is to make certain that we push one another to get to that next level, because it's not about, you know, an I. There's no I in team, so we got to continue to push one another to get to that level. And last but not least, guys, I just want to say this. Complacency is never the option. Consistency is always the key. So just because I got incorporated as my own company, UCO Marketing, I can get so excited that I can jump through the roof. But at the end of the day, I know this is just the beginning. I know it's going to be a lot of building I'm going to be doing with my partner, my brother, DA, because this guy is amazing. I'm always calling his phone, asking questions, being a student, because I love learning from him. And I tell my team all the time, if you want to learn something, get with those who are already at that level that knows it, so that way you can be exposed to it. Because that's part of being a student. The best teacher is always the best student. So at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that you guys understand this, is that I'm never going to allow myself to get complacent. I'm going to continue to have that same hunger when I first came home, when I first got feedback from the ground and started building individuals to bringing them and exposing them to the same opportunity. Because at the end of the day, once you lose that, that's when you'll never get yourself to that next level, because you'll always allow the complacency to assassinate your character, assassinate your goals and your levels of success. So, with that being said, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate the warm welcomes and the round of applause, and I'm very grateful for it. And I just want to say that it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better. So thank you.
Say that, baby. Yeah. Wow. Look.
He thought he was walking away without an award. Not at all.
Yeah, baby.
Oh wow! I didn't even get the picture. Get that on the picture. Hold up. Hey, wait. Give it back to him again. Oh. I'm talking about.
What we can do for him to help make sure that he's really okay is to give a small contribution from our company to his company. So please accept this on our behalf, Randy.
Oh my God.
Wow! Baby, you go, boy. Wow, Red Dog. Congratulations, nephew. Wow. All right, baby. Congratulations. Hey, I am glad I came.
One last thing I just want to say, and I mean this from the heart.
Oh my
No matter what you think, hard work always pays off. Remember,
sure do, baby.
Don't ever get complacent. Consistency is always the key.
Yes, it is, sweetheart. Your daddy's gonna be proud of you, boy, when I tell him all this.
This was my first daughter. No, my sister worked in the business with me as our administrator for a little over a year or so. And when I tell you, we never was as close as we were in the times where we worked and played and learned and failed and grew together. It was then.
Take a breath. You all right?
His wife, his wife.
I really, really, truly love my family. Without them, I don't even want to know where I'd be. I don't want to know where I'd be without my family. So I need my sister to help me recognize our mother, because this is from both of us. It's not from me, it's from both of us, as we recognize another amazing star in our life. We call this the I Love You, Mommy recognition. neighborhoods. You loved us unconditionally. You taught us values. You sacrificed for our well-being. You taught us the truth. From now until forever, we cherish you. I love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom, for making him. Thank you. Wow.
She's stupid, right?
When I married my wife, she became my family, and they became my relatives.
Yeah.
They no longer had precedent over the most important person in the entire world to me. And I'd be held accountable for how I treated and how I valued and how I showed my love for my wife.
Yes.
Not perfect by any means, never will profess it. But I love my wife dearly. And I remember on our wedding day, the best thing I can physically say was that I had a wife. I couldn't stop saying, I have a wife. It was, I had someone who literally affirmed to me, you're no longer a boxing alone.
No, she said yes.
It really brings my heart joy to say how much I love, and I think I appreciate the journey that we share, but more importantly, where we go. Because my wife has also seen a lot of bitter days in our marriage professionally. Because you know, what you see tonight or who you see currently isn't necessarily what was last week, last month, last year.
Yeah.
But together, we kept making sure that we didn't give up. I call this recognition the You Make Me Better recognition.
Whoa.
Yeah.
If you guys appreciate or value me, it's because she makes me who I am in front of you to this day. I promise.
All right.
Her love, her support, her understanding, even when she don't get it. It gives me enough reasons why to never stop giving up on even you all. I love you sincerely, and I thank you for everything. And I was not about to give out 21 other recognitions and forget the most important recognition of tonight.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for everybody for coming out. I'm like super nervous and shy and wasn't planning to say anything. I had something for him that I wanted to give him tonight after everything was over, because he's worked so hard just in general, but for this event in specific, and I saw all of these amazing awards that he was giving out to everyone. And so I didn't want the night to end without him getting an award. I was gonna give that to him like after everything was over and it was just us, but since you brought me up here, I have something for you.
Hey. That ain't a baby.
They got the list already. Yeah, they got the list already. It's not maybe even as fancy as everything that is up here, but it's
your heart, honey.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. D'Antoine Nelson, MIC Marketing CEO. And so, yes, you definitely exemplify this. You work tirelessly. He's up in the wee hours of the morning. He's up at night. And for those of you who don't know, we have 1.5-year-old twin girls. And so he's up in the middle of, he's changing diapers, he's feeding, he's doing everything.
All right.
Father, but he is an amazing husband, and I am so privileged and proud to be your wife. I'm honored to be your wife. I love you. I tell him all the time, I appreciate you so much, everything that you do, but it's so special to be able to say it in front of everybody that's here tonight. But also, I also want to just say to your mom, my mom, that I know he wouldn't be the man that he is without you, and that all of your hard work, I'm benefiting from it. Our daughters are benefiting from it, and so I wanted to say thank you and how much I love you. But I love you. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah!
I see you smiling.
Boy, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much, love. Again, the journey, you know, we'll make 5 years married January 25th.
All right,
Phenomenal. And I mean, it literally feels like it's been 5 days because we've experienced so much. We moved from 3 cities. We've been married. We've got twin daughters. Imagine getting that news, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been so much we've experienced, but we did it all together. And I'm so privileged, so grateful to go through life with that amazing woman. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say one thing to you all out here. My name is Aaron Jackson.
Nice to meet you, Aaron Jackson.
I am Jeremiah and Aaron Jackson's father. I've struggled sometimes in my life, and this young man right here grabbed my sons and took them with him. When he was coming out of the penitentiary, I was going in. But when he grabbed my boys and he told them there's a better way in life to doing something, I see that they got 2 awards. And my sons asked me, they say, Pops, they showed me a picture, they was grabbing some jackets. And I said, where y'all going with them jackets? They said, we got a black tie affair, Pops. I said, yeah. They said, yeah. They said, you want to come? I say, sure. But I was looking for them to disappoint. I was looking for them to say, well, Pops, you know, we ain't doing this and that. But they kept calling me, and I did. Would y'all two come in for a minute? I just want to tell y'all, brothers, man. You come in too, man. You be on the west side with them in the back. I want to thank you. I got tears in my eyes and in my heart, man. You grabbed my sons, man. These are like your brothers, man. And you did some things for them that I couldn't do. But I got to with you, man.
Oh, man, 100.
Y'all gonna go far, man.
Oh, and another thing, probably my girl calling me. I love everybody out, Kylie especially, Vibes, and the rest of you guys, Randy. It was, man, listen, bro, this Randy is one character. Like, this is not even a friend to us. This is like a brother. Like, we all grew up from Yale. And we knew what we wanted in life, but we didn't know how to put it in so many words. And like, to be honest, I have my little tough days where we all fall out. It's nothing with me. I fall out with people about anything. It can be, I don't care. It's like, if I feel it's wrong, I'm going to talk about it. That's just me. And we didn't have our ups and downs as a brother continue. DA, I'd call him and put it in like I was expressing myself. I don't hold nothing back from anybody. I don't try to make anybody feel bad or down. That's just my way of talking. But if it wasn't for this guy right here, though, like, let me break it down to how it all started, though. Like, when it got to me, when I was working at a factory for the hospital. And like one day when he got out, he was calling me like, yo, what's up, what's going on? I'm like, yo, I'm working. I'm like, yo, what's up? You calling me at a bad time? He's like, no. He's like, before you hang up, yo, he's like, how's your finances? Good? I'm like, shit, yeah, it's all right, it's cool. I'm like, why? He's like, you have been questioning. Like, what's up? He was like, nah, I'm about to go out for a vacation. He's like, I want you to come. He's like, you want to come? He's like, well, come on now. I'm going to Texas, New York, something like that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nah, not right now. Like, let me add up some money. So one day he called me, right? I had flipped out with my job because they was like messing up my hours. So, and I'm calling you, now you called me again, out the blue again. It was so crazy. Out the blue, he was like, yo, yo, what's going on? How you feeling? Your finance cool? I'm like, man, hell no, my finance ain't fucking my money. He was like, part the language, I'm so sorry. I apologize about that. But like in this true story, I'm just speaking on how I feel, like how I ended. And he was like, nah, yo. He's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, he laughed. And I'm like, yo, this is not the funniest thing. Like, I'm kind of upset. He was like, nah. He was like, yo, just calm down at work. Which how I remember the gig. He calmed me down. He's like, nah. He was like, I got something better for you. He was like, he's like, I'm ready for you whenever you're ready. He was like, come and work with me. He's like, I can make you change. He's like, I can make your life better. I'm like, man, you cool, crappy. You play. He was like, nah, yo, for real. He was like, matter of fact, he was like, call DA. DA gonna have you, you know what I'm saying, set up some stuff, and I'm gonna get right back with you. So I called DA. DA was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, Randy told me a lot about you. So He was like, yo, send me a picture and everything. So I called Randy. I'm like, yo. Like, we gonna make some money? He was like, don't worry about it. Now, and what kills me, right, I'm like, yo, he was like, yo, make sure you get back with me. Always kept saying this exact word. Hey, yo, I got you. He was like, yo, stop saying that. He was like, don't get me, get yourself. So I'm like, what? He said, yo, get myself. and like from that end on, it was like, okay, I took a hold to it. But I never told him after that, I stopped saying I got you. It was like kind of weird because he kept saying, yo, stop saying you got to get yourself. I'm good. What about you? Okay. Kind of made sense. Got into the business. I was doing good for myself, yeah. And I thank you as well because it wasn't, because you and Randy, we probably wouldn't even be here. And thank you for tolerating my negative when it wasn't supposed to be negative.
Hondo.